Are you considering investing in a 401k plan? Or have you had a 401k plan for a long time but not sure what to do with it or how you can get the most out of it? Be sure to watch this video. We're going to cover some do's and don'ts, and we're going to discover some ways that you can get the most out of your 401k. Before we get started with 401k plans and how to use them, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you've got questions about 401k investing, be sure to leave them in the comments section, and I'll be sure to get to them. All right, let's get started with 401k plans. The first thing that you need to do if you're eligible to contribute to a 401k plan is participate. And I know that sounds like an obvious one, but I can't tell you how many times I've met with people who had the opportunity to contribute to a 401k plan, but never did for a variety of reasons, whether they just didn't pay attention to it or didn't think it was important. As soon as you're eligible for participation in a 401k plan, make sure to start and sign up with your human resources professional or whoever's designated to handle the 401k plan for you. The next thing you want to make sure to look out for is avoid any of those articles that you see written by pundits or financial gurus who say that 401k plans are a scam. Nothing could be farther from the truth. If you're serious about building a nest egg in retirement and investing for the long term, a 401k plan is a key way that you're going to get there. If you're not sure how much to start putting into your 401k plan, a good rule of thumb is 10%. You're eligible to contribute up to $19,000 per year into a 401k plan if you're under age 50. If you're age 50, you're eligible to contribute a catch-up contribution in the amount of $6,000 for a total of $25,000. So wherever you are in terms of your income, you want to make sure you're striving to put away at least 10% of your pay into a retirement fund like a 401k. Whatever you do, don't underestimate the importance of employer matching within your 401k. Employer matching is your employer contributing to your 401k for you. Oftentimes, as long as you're making contributions to the 401k, they will provide some sort of matching. A very common matching regime for 401k plans is called safe harbor. Don't get too caught up in what the term safe harbor means. It's more important for the employer in their compliance with some of the IRS rules and regulations. From your standpoint, you want to make sure to contribute at least enough into the 401k to capture all of the dollars that your 401k administrator or employer is going to contribute in your account. Why is that important? Because if you don't, you're leaving money on the table. You're essentially telling your employer, no thanks, I don't want your money. You wouldn't do that if the employer was offering you a raise. So make sure to take advantage of the employer matching contributions in your 401k. I've gone into much greater detail about the importance of employer matching within a 401k plan on my website, and I'll be sure to link the article in the comments below or right below the title of this YouTube post. Make sure that you understand the vesting schedule that is applicable to your 401k. The vesting schedule is what specifies how long you have to be in the plan in order to access the funds that your employer has contributed to the 401k account, either by matching or profit sharing contributions. Now, it's important to note that all dollars that you put into your 401k plan are yours to keep. They are not subject to vesting. However, any employer contributions may be subject to vesting. And if you're not aware of the vesting schedule, you might decide to leave your employer right before you're eligible to capture all of those dollars that they've contributed. So if you're planning on leaving your job, that might weigh into your considerations as to whether or not you hang on for a few more months or maybe even a couple more years, depending on the amount of employer dollars that you're potentially leaving behind by leaving your job. Not all vesting schedules are the same. So if you're in a 401k plan, make sure to understand the vesting schedule so that you don't leave any money on the table. Your 401k may allow for Roth contributions, and if it does, you want to make sure to give it some consideration. Most contributions to a 401k plan are called traditional. That means that you're putting money in and those dollars go into your 401k plan before they've been taxed. And that serves to reduce your taxable income each year. Later down the road, when you make those withdrawals in retirement, those withdrawals will be taxable. However, with Roth contributions, you're making after-tax contributions to the 401k plan. Well, you might be thinking, well, I want a tax deduction. If I make Roth contributions, I'm not going to get the tax deduction that I would get. The important thing about Roth contributions, all those dollars that you sock away and then withdraw later in retirement will be tax-free. So it's a very powerful and very compelling situation to be in when you're in retirement and able to make withdrawals without any taxes. The reality is if you're participating in a 401k plan, years down the road, you're going to have some tax-free money if you're participating in Roth contributions, and you'll still have some dollars that are going to be in the 401k that will be pre-tax and taxable in retirement. Another key thing that you want to be aware of with Roth contributions is that if you're contributing to a Roth IRA or hoping to contribute to a Roth IRA, you may be excluded from that ability based on your income. Well, if you make too much income each year, the IRS says you're not eligible to contribute to a Roth IRA. However, with a Roth 401k, that isn't the case. There are no income limitations on Roth 401k contributions. So make sure if your plan offers 401k Roth contributions, be sure you give it a good look. It could be a powerful, powerful thing for your retirement nest egg. Make sure to rebalance your portfolio from time to time. If you are a moderate investor and you're taking on moderate levels of risk, for example, a 60% stock, 40% bond portfolio, you want to make sure that you take a look at that percentage and adjust it as needed periodically. So the reason why this is important, if you're in a period where the stock market is going up over the course of a few years, the stock portion of your portfolio will likely grow and outpace the bond portion of your portfolio. Well, if you're not paying attention, you may end up with a portfolio that is now 75% stocks and the remainder in bonds or more conservative investments. You want to make sure that you adjust it back to the original allocation that you're targeting, which is 60% stocks, 40% bonds. That's likely going to involve lightening up or selling some of the stock portion of your 401k and reallocating those dollars to the more stable and conservative bond portion of the 401k. Now, it's important to note, this is not investment advice. I don't know your situation specifically, but what I do for a living is I work with 401k investors, retirement investors, to help them manage their risk and help them manage their portfolios, which involves rebalancing. So just make sure you understand what rebalancing is and why it's important, and take a lot of care to make sure you're not taking on too much risk in your 401k. Now, here are a couple things that you're going to want to avoid doing in your 401k. The first thing is that I highly, highly recommend you avoid taking loans. I've done a whole other YouTube video on this subject. We'll make sure to link to it in either the comments or right below the title of this video. But 401k loans might seem like a good way to access funds within your 401k, but they are very problematic and can be very detrimental to your long-term savings. There are always going to be articles out there that say taking advantage of 401k loans is great. You get to pay yourself back with interest, all that stuff. Just know that it is very problematic. I can't go into all the details here, but do your best to avoid taking loans for your 401k. If your goal is to acquire a very sizable nest egg for retirement, taking loans from your 401k is not the way to get there. Do your best to avoid investing too much in your employer's stock. Some employers, they will allow you to invest in their company stock within the 401k plan. That could be either by your contributions or their matching contributions or even their profit sharing contributions. And no matter how much you love your company or how great you think your company is doing, it can be flat out dangerous accumulating too much employer stock in a 401k plan. I've seen far too many individuals see their 401ks go down the tubes when something bad happens to their employer stock. So a good number to target is keeping employer stock limited to 20% within your 401k. That amount might even be too high for some. But if you have over 20% of your employer stock in your 401k, proceed with caution. That could be dangerous. 401k plans are a great way to build your retirement nest egg over time. Don't delay putting money into your 401k. And once you do, make sure that you're following some prudent investing principles along the way. If you have questions about your 401k plan, or you have questions about 401k investing in general, please leave those questions in the comment section and I'll be sure to address them. And be sure to subscribe. I really appreciate your support.